Bro.
Hi, this is Justin Roberts, and you are listening to 3 Count Thursday. Hope you enjoy.
A little bit of the bubbly.
I did it for The Rock.
Give me what I want.
Everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
It's about the 14 years it took me to go from undesirable to ungoddamn deniable. Mamma mia!
3 ain't enough now, I need 5. Welcome in Jim, Ryan, Matt, Tim, and intern Mark.
They think they got the answers. I change the questions.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 3 Count Thursday. We are live on Thursday night, May the 7th, 2020. And we are glad to be with you once again this week. We have tons to talk about, including climbing the ladder, safety first, and is Mean Mark really done? But first, our show is here on our Facebook page each and every week. We are proud to be part of NGSC Sports Radio. We also stream on leavesports.com. Ryan, that would be
LEEIBsports.com.
That is correct. You can go to our website, 3countthursday.com. That is the number 3, never the word 3, for everything 3 Count related. You can also check out our Patreon page, our merchandise over at whatamaneuver.net. Anybody? No? What a maneuver. And also, you can, like I said, follow us on all of our social media accounts, our YouTube page, and much more. So again, 3countthursday.com is the place. Check everything out. Ryan, Matt, just the trio of us here tonight. Intern Mark had to take the dog for a walk, and that is not as dirty as it sounded. And Tim will be back with us hopefully next week. But how we doing, Rye?
I don't know anymore.
Okay, good. I think that's about where we're all at. Matt, how are you?
No complaints so far this week. It's Thursday. Days of the week aren't running together as much as they used to. Now I have a routine, but things change.
Well, that's good. It's always good to have a routine. For me, the days do run together, but it is what it is. But I always know when it's Thursday because I always have to make sure I have like notes printed out and whatnot. So we are glad to be with you as always. If you're following along with us in the live video, please give it a like. Please give it a share. We'd appreciate that. That'll help get as many people in here as possible. We can spend some time together this Thursday night. So I wanted to start off. This isn't really like a discussion thing. This isn't a this is just kind of one of those like good news things. And if there's ever any good news things, we want to like point those out because I feel like those things are like drastically missing anymore in our world. But John Cena, we know, has completed and been a part of more than 600 wishes from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Even in the midst of the current situation with the global pandemic and all of that, John Cena continued his outreach with the organization by granting the wish of 7-year-old David Castle. He surprised Castle and his family at their home in Odessa, Florida over the weekend, wearing his iconic wrestling attire, his t-shirt, his jorts, his wristbands, and his hat, along with a mask and gloves. Cena brought a package of WWE gifts, including replica championship belts and a variety of other items. I believe we shared this. I believe we shared this post up to our Facebook page the other day. But it was obviously a great moment. 7-year-old David Castle is battling a Wilms tumor, a cancer that affects the kidneys. He embraced Cena with a hug upon his arrival. The visit was coordinated by officials with Pasco County Fire and Rescue. So yeah, I mean, you know, it like I said, there's a lot of bad news out there right now, and I know when I saw this, it just absolutely kind of you know, gave me a little pick me up, and you know, it's just one of those things that you know, we can always disagree on you know, in the ring stuff, storyline stuff, character stuff, gimmick stuff. But there's no questioning the character and the person that John Cena is, and you know, obviously with everything going on in the world, to continue to you know, to continue to do these Make-A-Wish things is just awesome, and it you know, reminds us that you know, you know, Cena is like the forever like superhero of the WWE.
Yeah, I agree. I found my Cena door cover today. It's wild that I decided to finally throw that up. So Cena, this apple do is for you.
There we go. Let me hit one of the
Hello.
It's John Cena.
For good old John. But yeah, it's just an awesome story. Matt, welcome back.
Yeah.
Now, Jim, when you were talking about that, you had said that was during the global pandemic. Is that what you said?
Yes, the pandemic.
The pandemic.
Yes, perfect. That is oh,
that's what Cena's talking about.
That absolutely the pandemic. 100.
Okay, then I will be safe then for the rest of the show.
Yeah. Okay. At least till your head sweats. I guarantee
it's already starting.
Yeah.
Already starting. How Alex Jones wears these, I'll never fucking know.
I think he's a cyborg. I don't even think that there's no actual proof that he's actually a human being. So I think he's just
cyborg. Thought cyclone, and I'm like, I think he has two eyes. I don't know.
You mean Cyclops would be the
Cyclops? Son of a bitch, Cyclone's something totally different.
A cyclone's like a or like a hurricane, but not.
It's a hat. It's the fucking hat already.
It's okay. Yeah, take it off. Take it off.
Showing its effects.
But yeah, just a really feel good story there.
Yeah.
With John Cena and the Make-A-Wish over the weekend. What I've been trying to do, and maybe this is just me, because like I don't know, because I usually don't know what day it is, and I don't know you know what even what time it is or anything like that. So I never know who's watching what, when, or anything like that. So like I'm trying not to like incorporate too much of the like current product, because I'm like, I figure people are just absorbing it as they can.
Here's what they should have watched. They should have watched our watch along, which we posted up on our YouTube page, youtube.com, search for 3 Count Thursday. I'm not sure what the actual link is.
Yeah, if you go to our website, it's on there on the about us section. But if you just go to tinyurl.com/3CT YouTube, it'll take you right to the page as well.
tinydancer.com/3CT YouTube.
Yes,
Take it.
Absolutely. Now I almost want to like buy. Almost want to like buy that domain just so we have it.
Tiny Dancer.
No, just tinydancer.com/3CT YouTube, just all written out. So it would actually be tinydancer.com/3CT YouTube.com is what it would actually be.
That's fine. I accept that.
I'm sure that wouldn't get confusing for anybody, by the way. But yeah, Charlie highlights a few things, because I actually watched more wrestling this week than I've watched in recent weeks, because I caught all overall, and I caught both Wednesday shows. I watched NXT almost live, and I watched AEW today. Both were really good shows. But the Karrion Kross and Scarlett debut on NXT is something that you should probably check out if you have not done so already.
Seconded, absolutely. That segment alone was hotter than Adele's new pictures.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how to feel about new Adele. Like,
I love it.
Beautiful, not gonna, but I thought she was beautiful before.
Sure.
So Like she just doesn't. She doesn't look like Adele. Like I
She
had,
doesn't.
I was shocked to find out that that was actually Adele. But Matt, what are we drinking tonight?
We have the Lolly Hop from Trogs up there in Hershey that we are
Nice.
feasting upon in the Trogs mug, mind you.
Aha, very appropriate. I'm just drinking straight Coors. I'm just drinking straight Coors Light like I have in the last couple weeks.
You go to the brewery tour at Trogs, you get a free pint glass and a few free beverages as well. So it's well worth like the $10 that they charge you to take that tour. Good food there.
Why have we not made this a 3-count like outing?
We could probably do that once. So it's like we're allowed to do that sort of a thing. I think that'd be more than appropriate. Would be more, and intern Mark could be our DD.
Yeah.
There we go. That's how he can earn his keep for the year.
Nope. If intern Mark gets that close, his ass is going to Hershey Park. He ain't hanging with us.
That's true. You're entirely right, especially with all the delays in the park opening, because I know he is clamoring for the opening of Hershey Park, which for him, and obviously for local economies and all of those things, but for intern Mark especially, I hope that that Hershey Park does open soon.
Oh, hi, Mark.
So obviously what we want to do, because this Sunday night is the Money in the Bank pay-per-view on the old award-winning WWE network. I want to run down the card and predict this week's show. Of course, now the two ladder matches we know are going to be at corporate headquarters in Stamford. To the best of my knowledge, those matches have already been filmed, which could be really interesting, because I don't know if anybody's paid attention to the weather and like forecasts for this weekend, but it's supposed to be like winter cold around here.
Like snow cold.
Yeah, like potential snow cold. And I want to pull up Stamford, because I know there's like potential for a snowstorm somewhere in the Northeast this weekend. And as if 2020 wasn't already fucked enough, we're going to have like middle of May snow. Now Sunday in Stamford is supposed to be sunny with a high of 59. Sunday night, cloudy, partly cloudy, low of 43. So there's not supposed to be any snow in Stamford on Sunday, because my thought is this could be one of those interesting things where like they pretend that it's live, but like if there's nothing, if there's no if it's not snowing on the show, but if it's actually snowing in real life, it could present one of those like interesting scenarios. But it doesn't look like the weather's supposed to be bad.
In ninth grade, I was supposed to do a Huck Finn video report, and was due the day before it was due. We filmed it, and that was the only day it snowed. So clearly, like our teacher knew, like, oh, these guys did not give a shit until yesterday to get this done. So hopefully they do that with WWE. I'd enjoy that little like subtle nod if they were like, oh yeah, it's filmed live in like bright sunny weather, as it's like dumping down a foot of snow.
Yeah, exactly. But I read some reports that potentially some of the matches for Sunday's show are going to be live. I would assume that is going to be from the Performance Center. Like nothing's been officially clarified, just because, I mean, what's the point at this point? Like we don't know when things are going to be. We don't know if they're going to be live. We don't know if they're going to be taped. In my mind, it doesn't really totally matter, because the thing I've said from the beginning with all of this is, if it's a closed set, then live and taped are basically irrelevant, because it's pretty much the same thing. We're seeing it live. I mean, like, it's basically the same thing as a regular TV show. It's filmed. Nobody knows what happens until the show airs. So, but I have seen that some of the matches are possibly expected to be live. I know AEW was live last night. Next week's show will not be live. So I don't know if WWE is kind of taking a similar approach to that, where sometimes things are going to be live and others will not. But it is this Sunday, 7:00 WWE Network. there are 4 matches and then 2 corporate ladder matches that, as we know and discussed last week, are happening at the same time. So let's start bottom to top here, and we'll get to the Money in the Bank matches last. But we have a fatal 4-way tag team match for the SmackDown tag team titles. You have the New Day defending against the Miz and Morrison, the Forgotten Sons, and the Lucha House Party. I feel like this is just easily, it's either going to be the New Day retaining or the Miz and Morrison getting their titles back. We can kind of play this back and forth thing for a little bit. And because I don't think that Lucha House Party really stands much of a chance. No offense, Lucha House Party. But I think it'd be a little premature for the Forgotten Sons.
I think this is going to be a very premature show. What the hell? What do they have to lose? Let's stick it on the Forgotten Sons and see what happens.
All right. Matt, how about you?
Just for the mere shock factor, I think they could put it on Lucha House Party just because it's kind of fun, kind of quirky. Vince loves his quirks.
He does.
Yeah, who's to say? Why not?
Let's see here in the comments. Devin says the New Day. So again, I wouldn't be shocked if the New Day just retains, because that's I feel like somewhat par for the course for the WWE is just keep it back on the New Day. Singles match for the WWE Championship. We got Drew McIntyre defending against Seth Rollins. This is one that to me should be very easy in saying that Drew McIntyre is going to retain. However, there is part of me that has this strange fear that they're just going to go to Rollins, because if you think of it from the standpoint of these empty arena shows, and Raw taped, is it Raw live, is it how exactly everything plays out. Part of me thinks that somewhere in their mind they go, well, if you have a heel that nobody likes, there could be potentially more people interested in watching the chase versus as we've talked about numerous times. So there's part of me that's scared they're going to go Seth Rollins and move the title off of Drew, but I have Drew McIntyre retaining. That is the correct choice, whether or not they do it.
You said so many words.
I did.
To say Drew McIntyre.
I did.
Yes.
I mean, that's what we do here, or at least that's what I do.
You do.
The host.
What a maneuver.
So
that's why I'm the host.
For me, it doesn't make sense to take the belt off of Drew McIntyre so quickly. My bigger question is, Jim, will you be wearing your Monday Night Messiah shirt?
Now, I haven't totally decided what I'm wearing this Sunday yet. But there is a distinct possibility, because looking over the card, I don't have a lot of merch for the people on this card. I don't know. I may wear my King Corbin shirt, but there's a certain possibility that I do wear the Monday Night Messiah shirt.
2 comments here. You're definitely going to be wearing your Tamina thong.
Well, I have one of those for every day, Ryan.
Will you be wearing pants, because we all can't get together to watch this as a unit?
I like how you use the word unit in that as well. Ryan, I mean, I don't know the last time that I wore pants. My neighbors don't like it, but here we are.
taking the old dog out for a walk.
In more ways than one.
In your Tamina thong.
Devin and Charlie both have Drew. Yeah, it should be Drew. Let's just be clear on that. A singles match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley defending against Tamina. And Ryan, just for you, I have Tamina winning the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Oh, so the same thing I said about the Forgotten Sons. You're like, fuck it, let's see what we got.
Exactly. Oh yeah, why not? Here's the thing: Not that I think Tamina should win a title ever. If you're gonna do it, why not do it now? You put it on her, it can go in the history books. Next Friday night on SmackDown, have her lose it, and then we all move on with our lives.
Yeah, you still shouldn't do it. That's the worst. It's gross, Bailey.
All right, Matt.
Part of me wants to say Tamina just so we see a cash in same night, like right on the spot, and it's just like the quickest title reign for Tamina, just to like say like she had the belt for however many seconds. It wouldn't make sense to even do that though. So just like it would just be a real slap in the face to Tamina. And I know Vince is kind of an asshole, but I don't think he's
Come in my face.
that much of a dick. So we'll just say Bailey retains, but I do think there will be a cash in that night.
Okay, see, that presents an interesting question, and we'll get to obviously who the briefcase winners are, and because Charlie points that out with the men's match. He said depending where it's placed on the card, he says Drew. If it's after Money in the Bank, he wouldn't be surprised if they switch it. So potentially maybe a cash in. But I'm curious how that would work if
Are they flying from Stanford?
Right. See that's the question. Like unless they do everything from Stanford, even if some matches are live. But you know what I mean? Like that's or I guess theoretically they could have filmed a cash in already.
Do we know like the layout of the corporate building? Like it is certainly possible that there is a ring in the building.
I mean, we know there's the ring for the corporate ladder matches is on the roof of the building. So I mean, I would assume that somewhere in corporate headquarters there's a ring set up at all times. Like I know they have the gym there that we've seen numerous shots of the neon lights and all the mirrors and all that. Or is that Vince's bedroom? Not sure. But the so I assume that there's always a ring there, but I'd be curious. You would think that the Money in the Bank matches.
Hey, you think there's neon lights in Vince's bedroom?
Would it shock you if there was?
Kind of. I would assume more like chains and like black lights.
You think black lights? So you think like his room is like an even more twisted, like 50 Shades of Grey situation?
Like I think part of the Firefly Funhouse match was filmed in Vince's bedroom.
I mean, how do we know that the whole thing wasn't filmed there?
So is it more lights or more like velvety, like you would see with I don't know, maybe like Hugh Hefner's bedroom?
I don't think Vince is that classy, to be 100% honest. We're talking about a guy that puts ketchup on like a $500 steak. Like at least that's the report.
That's good shit, pal.
Good shit, pal. And like it's probably not even Heinz ketchup. Like it's probably Hunt's ketchup or something.
Oh, Del Monte.
Room temp ketchup right out the cupboard.
Or he gets to make himself feel better about this situation, he goes to McDonald's and gets a shitload of fancy ketchup packets. So he puts fancy ketchup on the $500 steak.
Here's all I know. I want to see somebody get thrown through a window at WWE headquarters and Vince McMahon just being outside saying, "Get it?" Much like the old Attitude commercial. Yeah, that's all I want to have happen. If you throw in that, it's going to be an A+ pay-per-view for me.
Right. Like I want that. And like you said, I think a couple of weeks ago, I want what's her face in the lobby. World Wrestling Federation, please hold. World Wrestling Federation, one moment. Those are the two things I have no expectations, but those are two things that I want for this corporate situation.
World Wrestling Federation, one moment.
That almost makes me want to go watch. That was Beyond the Mat, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's on Netflix. You can find it on Netflix.
Oh, nice! I don't even have to load it in the DVD player. Perfect.
Right? You just gotta go boop boop boop, and you're there.
Charlie says from Connecticut to Florida, it's maybe like a couple hour flight. So theoretically, you could air the Money in the Bank matches first. I think that's going to be the tell. And that's a great point. If the Money in the Bank matches are first, then I think we're getting a cash in. Because, and I think you could show like the corporate plane landing in Florida and do like a whole, because I figure all the pre-tape stuff is going to be cinematic and played up and whatever anyway.
Naturally.
So I think what's that, Matt?
You wouldn't do this back to back though, correct?
Well, the ladder matches are together. Both men's and women's matches are simultaneous.
Okay.
Because fuck it.
Yeah, I think they announced that last week on SmackDown. That the men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches are simultaneous. So what that's going to look like, I have no clue. Like, and again, being if this were like a live situation, to me that sounds like a terrible idea. But doing it cinematically, pre-shoot, and all of that, I think that it presents an interesting opportunity, and I think it could be something that's pretty cool. So if you get those out of the way at the beginning, you could show the plane, leaving corporate headquarters, getting in a limo, getting in a car, getting to the airport, flying, and getting down to Florida in time for a cash in. Welcome to the show, Cousin Brian. Again, if you're following along in the live video, Ryan's in there with us, not you, Ryan, another Ryan. Please give the video a share. Get as many people in here discussing wrestling with us here tonight.
Live, pal.
We are live, pal. We know that not a lot of things are live right now, but we are. So yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued by the possibility of a cash in during the show, but it's going to be interesting to see if and how they could pull that off. This is a match I hate that this match is happening. Singles match for the Universal Championship. Braun Strowman defending against Bray Wyatt. Now it is Bray Wyatt, I believe. It is not The Fiend. But first off, like, I hate that this match is happening because when The Fiend lost to Oldberg, our hearts were broken. And then the build up to John Cena and the Firefly Funhouse match, and like redemption was Bray's. Like we're fine. We feel better. Just he doesn't need to be in a title match, in a title situation. And 1 month later, here we are. I think Braun's going to win. I think Braun might win by DQ. I think it's going to be a DQ either way, but I could see maybe like Bray and The Fiend both. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out, or Bray just snaps on Braun. And we see this continued spiral that is Bray Wyatt. But I don't think it's going to be a clean finish, and I don't think it should be. The only negative in that would be then you would leave the door open for this feud continuing, which I don't think it should, because again, keep Bray Wyatt away from a championship. But I have Braun winning, and I have it not clean. I have it by like a DQ.
I have Braun Strowman just running through Bray Wyatt. I mean, kick, punch, power slam, done. Much like we saw with his defeat. It's not a bad thing. Because we're talking about Bray Wyatt, not The Fiend. That's the big difference. We can go back, have a huge pity party for Bray Wyatt at the Firefly Funhouse, and The Fiend get all sorts of pissed off, reinvent The Fiend, red hot, coming into, I don't know, SummerSlam, something like that, regain a championship then if he wants to regain a championship, building off of the failure that Bray Wyatt is himself.
Okay, that's a fair point. Matt.
Part of me thinks we're going to see that build to SummerSlam. I just don't think it entails Braun just absolutely, for lack of a better term, burying Bray Wyatt. I see it more as the DQ finish for Braun, and that just leads us to this feud encapsulating at SummerSlam. But it's tough because Bray / The Fiend is such a good character. It's a lot of fun. And we all always say he doesn't need the title, and he doesn't. But then what's kind of the point of Bray / The Fiend if not to have the belt? Even though he already had it, and I mean, it was not a belt that I would ever own. I think that was like, it was okay in concept, but not something that I would ever like purchase. So it's tough to see where they can go with Bray and the Fiend, if not a title run. I mean, what else is he going to do? Just kind of be like the heel constantly, but with no motivation to do anything but like be a thorn in people's side.
Yeah, it's they've really giving Bray Wyatt / the Fiend the title as quickly as they did really kind of painted him and them and that character and those characters kind of into a weird corner that I don't know if, at least for a while, that you can ever really get out of. So yeah, you're always kind of stuck in this thing. Was it Bray? Is it the Fiend? Is it DQ? Is it not DQ? Is it a strap match? Is it a Firefly Funhouse match? Is it, a puppets match? Is it, is it a I'll take off my mask match? Like what exactly is it filmed cinematically or is it live? It's always one of it's one of, I think, numerous questions that they've unfortunately, like I said, they've done it to themselves here. With the Bray Wyatt Fiend character, but I think, Ryan, you do have at least a decent point that being that it is Bray Wyatt, that is a interesting tell there. Charlie says Braun retains by DQ or count out. He doesn't see a clean win. Devin says the same thing. He could lead to a bigger match down the line. What is Cousin Brian talking about? 239. Is that post from earlier, Ryan?
Yeah, bro. Cousin Brian put a post up. I don't know. It was a political sort of post, and it's been going on for about 2.5 days, and it just started to slow down. And I went on there and just tried to stir the pot a little bit, and I was like, I don't even know what I posted. I just wanted to make sure it kept going. But yeah, it's still going, almost 3 days strong now. So good job, Brian. You're really cultivating, learning, and people reaching across the aisle and having open, honest conversations with no profanity and no name calling whatsoever.
I thought maybe it was the post that I accidentally
Spadudios
that I accidentally engaged in earlier.
No, not that one. Brian's engaging with some of these folks.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, that man's an actor.
Good to see. Before we get to the predictions on these two matches.
Who?
What's that?
Good to see who?
That we're having fun.
Yeah, we're having a good time. It's a great time. You can share this and share the fun with everybody.
Exactly.
You can share Facebook.com.
If
LEIBsports.com.
If you had to put
maneuver.net.
Thank you. If you had to put
elbow.com/3count.
If you had to put a number, a 1 to 10 on the scale of how excited you are for Money in the Bank, either the show or these corporate ladder matches, what would the number be?
22.
Wow. I almost spit beer all over the computer. Matt, was that a 3?
That's a 3.
That's a 3. Okay. I mean, here's the thing.
Tamina's booked in a match on a pay-per-view and you give it a 3?
Add 10 to it. 13.
There we go. That's more like it. Yeah, for me, I mean, I was obviously very pleasantly surprised with what we got at WrestleMania. WrestleMania obviously different than a Money in the Bank. I'm really excited for the Money in the Bank matches, just to see how this is all put together. The show itself, I am excited about. I've enjoyed watching wrestling when I have watched it, whether it's AEW, NXT, SmackDown, Raw. Like I've been enjoying it. Like, and I know I know the experience different for everybody because, the Diamond Unicorn. I know the experience is different for everybody. But like for me, I don't know if it's just because I want and need the entertainment that bad that by the time it's on, I just kind of get wrapped up in it, and I'm not. I feel like I don't watch it as super critically as I did pre coronavirus. It is what it is.
Were you really super critical, Jim? Be honest.
Well, about AEW, I was. I mean, AEW was great last night. How about that? See, not critical at all.
Solid. I can't believe it. Don't let Jason in the comments hear that. Speaking of watching things and great reaction releases and everything, did you guys watch the Parks and Rec thing?
Yeah.
No,
I never watched.
You were never a Parks and Rec guy.
I never watched that show to begin with.
That's fair.
But I heard it was really good. Like I heard it was like really well done and much needed and all of that.
Very well done. I didn't know how they were going to pull it off, but I mean, it was exactly like, as wrestling fans, we said WrestleMania was just kind of what we needed. That kind of appealed to the different audience, but like as a Parks and Rec fan, I think it was just absolutely perfect from start to finish, especially the ending of it. I mean, it was great, I thought.
What a solid, absolutely solid thing. Jim, I literally think you would love it.
I've heard good things about the show in general. I just never had gotten into it.
It's on
I guess I never tried it.
It's not too late for you, and that's coming from me. It's not too late for you to watch it.
Ryan, I'm still working on getting through this season of Glow. Like,
yeah, I know. And Glow was like, I don't know, 12 episodes. Parks and Rec was what, probably 90 something.
Yeah, that's a big commitment.
I'm still on episode 6 of the Big Show of 8 episodes. So
I haven't even watched it yet. So
which one of you gave me shit for dogging it so bad? Because that show is trash.
Who gave you shit about that?
One of you two.
I mean, I may have said it in jest. I assume that the show is garbage. I assume that it's really, really, really bad and like super cheesy and dumb.
The worst.
It's a Nickelodeon show. It's like iCarly, but iCarly fans would watch the Big Show and be like, "What the fuck is this?"
So it's like Big Show.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm still going to check it out. Like that's not catch up on some of the comments here, Brian. As far as I know, the Money in the Bank matches are taped. I saw reports that other matches on the show might be live. I don't know if that's all of them or some of them or hell, even none of them. But in terms of how they air, they will be live to us in a way. Yes, I do need to watch that Greg the Bunny episode, Brian. Josh's excitement level is at a 4. Devin's is an 8. Charlie says his is a 5/6 or a 5/6. I'm not sure. 5/6 feels awfully low though. He says after Mania, I'm intrigued by what they put out from a production standpoint. Yeah, I'm probably like 7 or an 8. I'm like by the time WrestleMania got here, I was almost at normal like WrestleMania levels of excitement just because it was WrestleMania. You're never going to get that for a non-WrestleMania pay-per-view unless we get the like SummerSlam or Survivor Series or hell, the next pay-per-view that has a crowd and is in an actual arena, like even if it's Fastlane.
For me, and feel free for you two to weigh in as well. I mean, it's kind of disheartening because Money in the Bank is usually one of the pay-per-views I look forward to the most. Behind like the main 4, I would put like Money in the Bank, Elimination Chamber, like the novelty matches that they are. I put those pretty high up in terms of what I get excited about in terms of pay-per-views, aside from Fastlane, of course.
Right, and Tamina.
Yeah, because obviously you have the 1 now 2 briefcase winners. You always have the possible cash in that night, or on Raw the day after, etc. So there is always a degree of excitement around this pay-per-view. So yeah, it does kind of suck. I'll agree with you on that one, Matt. It absolutely does. It is very different than what we've become accustomed to as it comes to this show. But then again, I think taking what is happening right now and doing this corporate ladder headquarters simultaneous match, it's kind of the, okay, well, let's do the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse match at WrestleMania. Give us something that is different than just an empty arena show. And the fact that, like, right now there's only 6 matches on the card. Well, technically 5, because the ladder matches are combined. I don't think you're going to get a super long show either. So, unless they add some matches on SmackDown, which is tomorrow night, obviously they could add something to the card, because obviously the Mandy and Sonya feud has been pretty prominent, and Dolph and Otis are on there as well. So I just don't know if anything.
Otis is in the ladder match.
What's that?
Otis is in the ladder match.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Oh yes, Chucky, we have our top suspect.
So let's get to the
who was that top suspect?
Tomato chips.
My favorite fucking thing.
It's just so dumb, but it's so good. Let's get to those ladder matches. Brian says the Money in the Bank match has the potential to be a 10 or a 1. He's guessing it'll be a 6. Perfect.
Fair.
Yeah. Fair enough. Covers all bases. So let's go with the men's. Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, Aleister Black, King Corbin, Otis,
Tomato chips,
and AJ Styles winning the gauntlet match this past Monday on Raw, obviously filling the spot that was left with the Apollo Crews injury. So I mean, I'm fairly confident that it's going to be AJ Styles. I mean, which would be pretty impressive for a dead guy to win a Money in the Bank ladder match. But if it's not AJ, I'm leaning either like Otis or Aleister Black. My official pick is AJ Styles, but I think Aleister Black has been on a rise, and obviously Otis right now is one of the hottest guys in the entire company right now. So I could see those if it's not AJ.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the Adele well and say that Otis's rise is as hot as Adele is right now. But I think I leaned this way when you said Otis, and you said leaning this way. I'm gonna go with Aleister Black. That'll be my pick. I think Aleister Black has been on quite a rise. I think, again, we don't know what the hell's happening. This is life that we've never known. This is the Money in the Bank match, which honestly, this is probably better off than being held in that shithole in Baltimore.
You're actually probably 100% accurate.
Sorry, Baltimore folks, but
no, that building is a shithole. Like, if they actually tore it down, first, I don't know where all the rats are going to live, but if you tore it down and actually built like a nice arena in Baltimore, then I wouldn't shit on a pay-per-view in Baltimore so much. But that building sucks. It just sucks.
It really does.
Matt, what is
blessing there. Aleister Black down at the PC, not Charm City. Sorry, Baltimore.
No, not at the PC, at corporate headquarters.
That's what I meant.
That's what you said.
Headquarters, PC, it's all the same.
Pretty much. Matt, what do you got?
I mean, I've always looked at the briefcase holder as just someone they want to put a rise on. So that's why it doesn't make sense for it to be AJ Styles. Not that WWE is above putting a rocket on an aging superstar. Looking at you, Goldberg. I think that this...
Oh, don't make me beg now.
This has always kind of historically been like the title or the briefcase goes to someone that you just want to see the push, Brock Lesnar aside. So I think in this match, Aleister Black makes the most sense just because of what we've seen him do on the indies. I think they haven't even really tapped into what he can do on the scene. And I feel like he could fit into a feud so easily with anyone that they put him against that has the title. If not like Drew McIntyre at this point, or Braun Strowman, then whoever has the title beyond that. I mean, who wouldn't love to see Aleister Black versus Drew McIntyre, Aleister Black versus The Fiend if he has it, or to a lesser extent Braun, but it would still be an enticing matchup. So I think he makes the most sense in terms of everyone else that's in there. I really don't understand why Rey's in this. I still don't. I love Rey Mysterio, really do. It just does not make sense to me why he got this spot over a number of other
He's gonna
people.
blow his leg out climbing the ladder. Like, let's just be honest about it. Like, Rey Mysterio in a ladder match in 2005 would be really awesome. In 2020, I just don't. Yeah, I just don't see it.
Bets on pay-per-views at this point, I would have to, like, you could put a $5 bet on Mysterio. He probably has like 6 million to 1 odds, and like,
right. I would love to. I wonder if betting, like, if this kind of betting is still active, because I know like a lot of the books and stuff are shut down. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd be curious to know what the odds are. Let's get some of the comments here. Charlie has Shayna and Black winning the 2 ladder matches, but he says Styles could pull it out. Cousin Brian thinks it'll be either Aleister Black or King Corbin. Devin thinks it'll be King Corbin and Shayna Baszler. Charlie says Brock takes out Otis and wins the case. Oh my God, that would be incredible.
It could freaking happen.
It absolutely could happen.
It happened.
I assume, just in the off chance that they need him, I assume that Brock just lives at headquarters right now, so he doesn't have to cross the border. Devin says Aleister Black is his dark horse. Charlie amends his pick. He says Brock takes out Rey and wins the match. RSGP Toy says Nicholas comes out of nowhere, wins, and challenges his old tag team partner Braun for the title at SummerSlam. We're going to talk about Nicholas here in a little bit. That he was brought up in something this week, so we'll talk about.
I'm jumping off this early.
No, I think you'll be happy with this one, Ryan. I think you'll be happy with this story.
Yeah. I'll say this much: Nicholas believes in the pandemic.
The women's Money in the Bank ladder match for the briefcase. Forgot to hit the button. Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Carmella are the competitors in this one. I had started to circle Lacey Evans because I feel like this is the opportunity that you can strap the rocket to her. I did change my pick, however, and I went to Asuka just because like she has been probably one of like the biggest stars of the empty arena shows. So I'm gonna go with Asuka.
You started so good.
I did.
And you were so right.
I had you
went and you thought Asuka's funny because she yells Japanese shit to
it's
nobody.
Hilarious.
And it popped me.
Right.
That's where you went wrong, because absolutely, without a doubt, I would put $22 on this, that Lacey Evans will be walking out your women's Money in the Bank the briefcase winner holder. Yep.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, for whatever reason, drunkenly a few weeks ago, I bought a Lacey Evans tee. So hey, just gonna ride it on that. Just
there you go.
That sole purpose. It's kind of in the same vein as what I said with the men's match. It's just you put it on the one that you want to strap something to. Asuka, I think, is kind of past that point. She doesn't need the briefcase to be strong. And no one else in that. I mean, Shayna, sure, but I mean, Shayna still has the name, so she doesn't necessarily need it. The briefcase wouldn't do as much for her as it would for Lacey Evans. who again can cut a great promo, who can start a great feud with whoever. So sign me up for that. But Jim, I do appreciate it. I think 3 years ago you professed how sexy you thought Asuka was, and it just, you haven't let that go in years. So I mean, the whole truth.
That's my girl, man. That's my girl.
Ain't bad, Jim. You don't gotta be upset. Nothing to be upset about.
But
You ain't wrong.
like, here's the thing. I think Lacey is probably the correct choice. I absolutely do. Which is exactly why Dana Brooke's going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. But I just feel like they're going to go Asuka, because as much as I agree that in typical fashion, it should be kind of something that somebody who's established doesn't necessarily need. But we're what's the phrase that's used in every commercial in these trying times, in these challenging, in these uncertain times? You got to go back to something that may pop a rating, or so I don't know, like maybe that's why they put it on somebody a little bit more established, and it draws the intrigue there. Let's see here. RSGP Toys says Lacey Evans. Devin had said Shayna, but Nia Jax is his dark horse to win the match.
Oh, come on, Devin. She's a bigger lady. You don't got to call her a horse.
That's a huge bitch.
Come on, Devin. It's 2020.
Charlie says if it's not Shayna, it'll be Sasha. They've been playing up the Bailey Sasha breakup. So she could
more than that to happen, but
she could potentially insert herself into the match like Brock did last year. Tomato takes out Nia Jax on the ladder. What?
Tomato.
Who the hell's Tomato?
Tomato, Jim.
I'm very confused.
How do you not know what tomato is?
Tomato?
Ask the guy who made the comment, Jim.
Brian, who is Tomato? I'm waiting for this answer. All right, so that's
I don't have a damn clue what he meant either, by the way.
No clue what he meant.
With you. I have
Maybe
no
he
damn
means
clue.
Tamina, and it just auto-corrected to tomato.
Tomato?
Like if it would have been tomato, it would have made more sense.
Right. Maybe he means tomato champs.
Tomato chips.
Just comes in and for no reason destroys Nia Jax.
Just comes in, destroys her, and leaves. All right.
The next topic, were we transitioning here?
Yes.
Because I did want to bring something up, because you had sent something in our group chat about a TV series coming about wrestling memorabilia, which
I
think is
the Big Show.
Right. So if you have Disney Plus, they have a show on that now called Prop Culture, where they take like different Disney films and they look at old props from those movies, which I think this show has potential to be. But my question going into this, and I'm going to put you two on the spot here because I grabbed my thing before that, but what's your favorite piece of wrestling memorabilia that you have? And I know mine will make Big Jim jealous because it's always been this. It's The Simpsons.
Oh, man.
Signed by
man,
Bret.
that is...
It isn't signed in pink, but it is autographed by Bret Hart. Because not many of these figures even are
right.
So to have this and have it signed by Bret is my go-to when people say what's your favorite piece of memorabilia. But I wanted to see what you guys had in terms. I know Ryan has like 18 bins full of memorabilia. I like to do that now.
Man,
I do a decent amount of memorabilia for sure. I collect autographs. I'm a big autograph 8x10, but I grabbed it, and it's probably one of your favorites, Matt. It's from WrestleMania 32. It is the Shane McMahon dollars that were raining down during the Shane McMahon match. 32.
Here we go. Money talk.
One of my favorites.
Dollar.
It's just the first thing that popped in mind.
For me, probably one of the things, and I'm gonna go like two ways on this one. One is something I've had since I was like a little kid, and I still have my my Hulk Hogan wrestling buddy from when I was a little kid. That one is a solid one. But in recent years, I'm gonna grab one.
Great air.
That's a great question, Matt. I really appreciate that, actually.
Matt, talk to you guys for a bit. Oh no, Jim's back. Never mind.
In recent years, I've been able to come upon, and I work in the audio industry, and I work with microphones. So in recent years, I've been able to come upon some WWE mic flags. This is just one of them. This is the triangle one, like is used in the for like the ring announcers and in ring. Like on Raw. I have one of the old Scratch logo ones. I also have one of the backstage square ones, like the current ones now that you'll see like the interviewers using. And so those are probably near the top of my collection right now.
And shout out to Maryland Championship Wrestling because they posted that same question on Twitter. So if you are following them and you have like something that you really like, go to the Twitter at MC Wrestling, I believe it is. Don't quote me on that. But like share your picture because I'll take a look. I want to see what everyone else has to offer, or if you want to share it to us in Messenger as well. But you know, I'm always interested to see like what pieces of wrestling memorabilia people are like really proud of. Like this is something that I'm holding on to and passing down generation to generation type deal.
Yeah, if you guys can, maybe one of you guys throw that up on the Facebook page. I think that'd be
that's a great question.
That would yield some really cool answers. Brian says that tomato equals Tamina. So
naturally, of course.
Tomato chips.
We weren't close with Tomato Ciampa.
And yes, Charlie, that clip was in reference to Tommaso Ciampa.
Tomato chips.
Charlie says he has an Edge, Gangrel, and Rock Sweat figure.
Nice.
Which is the ones that actually did sweat. I never actually owned any of those. Cousin Brian says he has a piece of stuffing from a turnbuckle that George the Animal Steel chewed open. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome.
That is pretty solid.
That's badass.
Devin says his signed Daniel Bryan book. That's pretty cool. Charlie says, I'll say this about that show. If there's ever a time to bring Conrad on board, he would be perfect for this show. Absolutely. I don't know what hit because I know he's done stuff with AEW, so I don't know if he's like another person that's, you know, not on the WWE's list of people to talk to, but him and Bruce still do the show. So he's at least, and he's, you know, married to a Flair. So it's a complicated relationship, I would say, with WWE and Connie. Brian also says a signed program by Mel Phillips. RSGP Toy says he has a signed seat or a seat from the Pontiac Silverdome signed by Hulk Hogan. That he signed. I slammed the Giant Brother and then his autograph. It is seat number 3. So that's pretty solid. A seat from
Great to be back here in the Pontiac Silverdome, brother.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, we need to get that up on the Facebook page because I would love to see some people's answers on that one.
I swiped this from a promotion we used to work for. Whoopsie! But from the backstage interviews, I accidentally took this along with one night. That happens.
You got that before the lawsuits hit, huh?
It cost me a slice of pizza.
There you go.
Pretty solid like interview pictures from backstage there though. There is a picture of Ryan interviewing Punisher Martinez and Matt Riddle, who were the tag champs for said promotion. So we, like, all jokes aside, we did get to like talk to some.
We Ryan had some pretty solid FaceTime with some fairly heavy hitters.
EC3, Vinny Marcellia, yeah.
EC3 screaming at your face about why you were so calm tempered.
Soft spoken, yeah.
Yeah, that was a spectacular backstage interview. Charlie's heading out for the night. Charlie, see you, bud. Stay safe and take care. Yeah, everybody. I hope everybody continues to stay safe.
I was able to pick up some of these.
These
were my favorite wrestling toys growing up. I absolutely loved them. I have them all out of the case. but the ECW line is one of my favorites from the original toy makers of San Francisco. Absolutely my favorite line of wrestling toys ever.
Let me go grab, because I do have some
grabbing
of my
some of
old
these.
figures. Right, I'm gonna go grab one of them quick.
One of Jim's favorite moments also was he was able to interview Nurse Vanessa Feelgood at the MPWA Hall of Fame banquet, and he was very excited. He was just on the edge of his seat the whole time. A true professional. But yeah, that was one of Jim's favorites. You can find those videos all up on our YouTube page, tinydancer.com/YouTube or whatever he said it was earlier in the show. Just look it up.
Right, it's onlyfans.sunnyhof.com.
Yeah, she's back. She's doing some stuff. Good for her. She's got bills to pay, and people are subscribing to see your boobies. So nobody's subscribing to our OnlyFans site yet.
True. I mean, the Jim Kiss card does come with an OnlyFans subscription, so.
I thought that I had some of my old Hasbro figures at the ready. I didn't, but I did come upon this guy as I was going through some stuff, an old Triple H one that had like the removable. But I did. Now this one I forgot I had. It was an old foam hand.
Ooh, I love a good foam hand.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, this one made in the USA from let's see if I can make out the year on this guy. Looks like 93.
It was a good year.
It's like 93 on this guy. Better than 2020. I know that much.
Yeah, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, I had the foam D-Generation XX. I don't know what happened to it. Where
Solid.
it said "suck it," but there were asterisks over the U and the C. So I'll probably head to eBay at some point in the near future and see if I can just get another one of those.
My brother and I,
while you were searching, I'm not sure if you could hear, but we were talking about your experience with Nurse Vanessa Feelgood from the MPWA Hall of Fame.
Nurse Feelgood,
the class of 2015. That was the inaugural class. It's a big event held every year here in Lancaster, celebrating wrestling worldwide, really, not just the independent scene, but the Mid-Penn Wrestling Alliance Hall of Fame was quite an inaugural class.
The inaugural and the farewell class, oddly enough. But my brother, like I know my brother and I had the hacksaw, the foam 2x4.
Oh!
We had a foam nightstick, the big boss man. That one poorly executed because like if you hit anybody, oh, that's cool. If you hit anybody,
$45
how much?
on eBay.
Oh, that's not bad. If you hit anybody with the nightstick, it just ripped. And for the record, styrofoam like that doesn't glue well. So that was a one timer. It was that guy. But yeah, definitely.
They had the Daniel Bryan yes hands actually in foam.
Yeah, the fingers.
They did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fingers.
Didn't they have ones too? Or no, it was Cena. The
Cena hand. Yeah.
Yeah. The Cena hand.
Never mind.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the foam hand is a classic souvenir.
I mean, it's such a cheap thing to produce. Like it costs like maybe $1 to make one of those and sell them for 10 to 15.
Oh yeah, that's all. There's so much profit on a fucking foam hand. It's not even funny. All right, let's jump ahead here. The AEW had a live show last night at Daly's Place. I think they're doing a mix of live and taped. And I know we obviously one of the big topics of discussion with WWE shows, AEW shows, and now as sports start to get back is obviously testing and safety and all of that. The local labor union that was working at this show, IATSE 115, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees union, posted on their Facebook page that a COVID-19 rapid test was given to every stagehand, road crew, venue staff, and talent before they were allowed to enter the venue. The work began at Daly's Place on Tuesday. They also confirmed in the comment section that AEW supplied the test and that this is a closed set taping with no crowd. They added in another comment when asked what happens if a worker would have tested positive and are symptomatic. They said all IATSE local members tested negative on the serological test. If a member had tested positive, then they would be referred for a molecular test. Results of this test determine whether you can work. So obviously everybody that was in the building had tested negative. I don't think there was any reports of anybody testing positive, so that's a really good thing. And I mean it's awesome to see that AEW is taking that step. In a weird way, I kind of have like mixed feelings about testing for athletes. I mean, for them to be able to have the test is awesome. And if you're going to continue to do shows, and I would hope, I know WWE is doing some form of testing. We don't know what exactly that is for all of their shows. But like, I feel like I'm at like a weird thought about it, because there's still like states that like can't test like normal citizens. But I know it's a complicated matter, but it's good to see that they're taking that step, and that they would have had a plan in place if somebody would have tested positive. Obviously wouldn't have been allowed inside the building. But good to see that they have taken that step. And then Tony Khan made an appearance in the AEW Unrestricted podcast, where he discussed a wide range of topics, one of them being the financial situation that the pandemic has cost the company, and the losses that they have taken on because of it. He said, "I'd love to have the millions of dollars from the gates back, but they're not coming back. Eventually we'll do shows in these cities, meaning like Rochester and all that, the shows that they had pre-scheduled before they had to change plans. But those weeks are gone. I have to face that. We were on such a hot run where we had Rochester. It was going to be one of our most profitable shows." And like, that's the big thing too. And for, and it's obviously good for AEW that they have a strong financial back, for their company, something that's been well documented since the company was announced. But it goes to show you that, WWE is taking a hit. AEW is taking a hit. Everybody's taking a hit from that standpoint, because while it's fantastic, they're still putting shows on. You're not getting ticket money. You have to be losing out on merchandising money because there is so much merchandise that is moved at a live show. It is unbelievable. Like, even when we would go to the NXT shows at Bethlehem, this small, couple thousand seat club, and they'd have one dinky little merchandise stand. The amount of money that was moved at that stand is astounding. So that's just the way it is across the board. So yeah, there is a lot of money lost, and like you said, you can never get it back.
You can't ever get it back. But I like what we're seeing now. These companies pivoting and going with the route of like selling what people are buying. You see now the WWE shop has WWE masks. I mean, it's a crazy time. I never thought we would see it. You see pro wrestling tees coming out with AEW themed masks. Again, these are going now to the wrestler, things like that, same way their pro wrestling tees would go. So it's cool to see them be able to pivot as quickly. We kind of saw them, and I think we said this in their group chat, but the WWE was late to like the fidget spinner route.
Right.
They created fidget spinners far too late to sell it. The fad was kind of over. This is right in the middle of the pandemic. So we got to make sure that we have our hats and our masks, and everybody needs to be safe.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think we joked in the group text that WWE would have the masks out about 2 months after a vaccine.
Yeah. So they were there in time.
But yeah, they got to have a
mask. Which mask are you buying, Big Jim?
I'll probably buy a couple of them, because why not? Definitely the WWE Championship one. Definitely a Triple H one, and I'm debating the Fiend one. But I mean, as cool as it is, it's kind of freaky at the same time. So I got to think about that one. Maybe the Kane one as well, just because it has the original style Kane mask.
Yeah, the Kane one's solid. I don't mind the Ric Flair one either.
The Flair one was pretty cool.
That one.
I had thought.
Yeah, Matt, you have a preference?
Yeah, definitely going to get a Fiend one. I was looking the other day. Huskus, the stuffed Huskus stuffed animal that will be added to Liesl's stuffed animal collection.
Very good. Very good. And I had looked, I don't know if you had looked on the Pro Wrestling Tees site about some of the AEW masks that were up. I'm debating the Le Champion Chris Jericho mask. And I love that the Orange Cassidy mask is just like denim.
Just denim. Actually, I don't know. I might have misspoken. Maybe the money doesn't go to the wrestlers. That might be going somewhere else. I know WWE's will donate 100% of the net proceeds of the masks to AmeriCares. So they're not making money on it. They're donating the proceeds to AmeriCares. So I'm not sure about the AEW ones or the Pro Wrestling Tees ones, but I wanted to correct myself there.
It's all just traffic at this point because Disney is doing some on their website as well. They have different masks you can buy, and Disney, I saw, has lost 1.4 billion at this point.
Ooh.
Between parks and cruises and everything. So for them,
it's a big number.
For them to still just kind of make masks with all proceeds going to the charity, I feel like they have to be looking at it as like, we'll sell these masks, but hopefully like, hey, while you're buying the mask,
right,
buy a t-shirt or something.
Right. Like I'm not going to go to WWE shop and just buy masks. Like I'll probably add other things onto it. Like and I think everybody across the board is kind of doing something. Like if you go to fanatics.com, they have sports team
for a long time.
What's that? Oh yeah, Ryan's definitely frozen. Like I can't tell if he's if he could sit that still.
Because that would be something Ryan would do. Like
I know, and that's the freaky part is I don't know if he's frozen, if he's actually frozen or not. I'm just assuming that he is literally just sitting that still. But I know Kiss is selling masks, and 100% of their profit is generated to
There's Ryan.
to Crew Nation, which is
I don't know what the hell happened.
I don't know.
The phone got all screwy.
We weren't sure if you were playing with us or not, but Crew Nation is a global relief fund for live music crews because obviously the live music industry is shut down. So like the Kiss mask, all the proceeds go to that. And I know like Fanatics has ones for NFL, MLS, and NHL teams, and you know money goes to health workers and stuff. I pre-ordered a Cowboys logo mask. Yeah, roll your eyes, dickhead. All right.
One too. Toilet papers kind of on a pandemic right now.
Hey man, I don't know. I think
Did somebody say pandemic?
Drink.
I don't have a drink, but I want to join in with the fun. Here's some water.
I think the toilet paper crisis may be winding down. My wife was at the grocery store earlier today, and I'm not going to say which ones. There's not a run on this stuff, but they previously had signs that said you could only buy one pack or whatever. Those signs not there anymore. So maybe we're on the recovery as it comes to toilet paper.
Did she load up and say fuck all the other families, or did she leave some for the others?
We were good. She was a good, responsible human being and only bought what we needed, a couple of rolls. So
has she baked you anything lately?
There hasn't been any baked goods since the banana bread last week.
That's rough.
So you are thinking about a divorce, right?
Naturally. All right. The Undertaker Last Ride documentary series, 5-episode series, will begin this Sunday at approximately 10 p.m. immediately following the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Of course, the highly anticipated documentary gives an unprecedented look at Mark Calloway, the man behind the legendary Undertaker, as he prepares for the final chapters of his storied 30-year career in WWE. The show will air as follows. Chapter 1 is this Sunday immediately following Money in the Bank. Chapter 2 next Sunday, May 17th, on demand beginning at the rest of the chapters are on demand on Sundays beginning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So chapter 2 is May 17th. Chapter 3 is May 24th. Chapter 4 jumps all the way ahead to June 14th, and chapter 5 on June 21st. From the press release, on this Sunday's premiere episode, Undertaker comes to terms with his own mortality as he prepares for what many believe to be the final match of his career against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 33. Fans got a rare glimpse into what led up to that moment, the pressure he puts on himself each year getting ready for WWE's annual pop culture extravaganza, and much more. In addition, the episode looks back at the physical and emotional toll taken on The Undertaker after his 21-year WrestleMania undefeated streak came to a shocking conclusion against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30. The series will feature firsthand interviews with Calloway, his wife, and former Divas champion Michelle McCool, Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, Triple H, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Batista, Ric Flair, Edge, Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, and many others. I cannot wait to watch this series. I watched the little preview thing they did after WrestleMania, and I have been ready for this thing to drop. So I will absolutely be staying tuned this Sunday. Now, the question that comes up is when I posted about this, AEW apologist and contrarian in my life, Nick, who is a regular commenter on our Facebook page. He says that if the Boneyard match was not The Undertaker's last match, then this documentary is all for nothing in his mind. And those were his words. So kind of like a two-part question. Do you think that the Boneyard match was The Undertaker's last? And if it is not, do you think that this documentary is kind of all for nothing? For me, the simple answer is no. I don't think it was his last match. There's no way that barring some sort of like injury or something like that, doing in training or whatever, I don't think that's either. I don't think we see the Undertaker's last match at in a cemetery, during a closed set WrestleMania. Do I think it was his last WrestleMania match? That's possible. I mean, a year is a long time, if we're being honest. But I think they're going to find ways to utilize the Undertaker and potentially this kind of hybrid biker dead man gimmick, whatever exactly it's going to look like. Is this for nothing? Absolutely not. Anytime you can put a video series that's like this together, and you can give me a behind the scenes look, especially at somebody like The Undertaker when we haven't seen something like this before, I'm all for it, and it's definitely not for nothing.
Yeah, dude, I don't think it's his last match. I think you just read the little blurb from the WWE, and it said as he's preparing to enter like the final stages of his career. So you can have the fire or the what the hell was it called? The Boneyard match, and it still not be his last match. Show this documentary preparing for him to enter the last few matches of The Undertaker. I think the Boneyard match is one of the last 5 matches we see from The Undertaker. Absolutely. But it's not going to be his last match. So you can show this as he's prepping. You can even include the Boneyard match as part of this. And kind of show how he's pivoted a bit in his career and still have one kind of blow-off final match to end his WWE career. So, yeah, I don't think the Boneyard match was his last, and it's absolutely not a waste to show this program.
Yeah. Matt, how about you?
Definitely not. I don't think The Undertaker's last match would not be lack of the double negative, but it has to be in front of a crowd. Like, The Undertaker is not having his last match as a taped match at a cemetery, 20 people around him. It has to be in an arena, a packed arena, and he's not going out on top. I've always felt that he has such a respect for the business that I feel like when he goes out for good, it's going to be putting someone over, which I think that's kind of why we all thought the Roman Reigns one might have been the last, just because that seemed like his kind of bon voyage. In terms of the actual show, I mean, we did talk about it a little bit last week in terms of what wrestler do we think we would see a documentary like this come to be. I don't think it would be a waste necessarily, but if you're doing something like this that's going to be a 5-part documentary, it would have been nice for it to come after all is said and done. So I understand the sentiment behind Nick's comment, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can see where he's coming from with that statement. And he's not necessarily wrong for having that opinion.
I mean, I'll say he's wrong, but that's the relationship I have with Nick. Yeah, I mean, if it would have come after what we would know to be his last match, then maybe it would have made more sense. And hell, I don't know if at the end of this he says, you know, my next match, be it at SummerSlam or be it at Survivor Series, is going to be the last one. Maybe like, because I think we've always, since the loss to Lesnar wasn't his last match, and the loss to Reigns, which could have been, depending how the hip surgery went, and I think we're going to see that play out, whether it's episode 1 or episode 2. It could have been his last match. I agree with you, Matt. He's going to lose in his last match, 100%.
Then is are we seeing this broken up the way it is just because of like the success we've seen from The Last Dance? Like everyone's talking about The Last Dance, and a lot of that is just kind of due to the fact that there's nothing else really going on in the sports world except ESPN is giving you 2 hours of a Jordan documentary every Sunday to look forward to, and ESPN Radio has nothing else to talk about. Possible MLB returning, possible NFL schedule being released today if it happens in September. So
right,
we're getting a lot of eyes on the Last Dance product. Does Vince see that and say like, well, we have to turn this into, like, do we even know how long the episodes are going to be at this point for The Last Ride?
I would assume you're probably looking 45 minutes to an hour, but I don't know. They haven't said, they haven't given a length, which I mean, for the Last Dance, they're, each episode's about 40 minutes because of commercial time. So but maybe at the end of this, like I said, maybe it's he says, and I agree with Devin. Devin says his last match, he should have his last match at Survivor Series, not WrestleMania. I kind of agree with that. That's where he started. That's where it began. And I've kind of often thought that, like, I know because of the streak, we've always thought of The Undertaker as WrestleMania, but like I bought, and I noticed it when I was going through my DVDs recently, I bought the Survivor Series DVD from when it was The Undertaker's 25th, and they had like the cool stage and the video effects and all that. So I would agree that I think it would be awesome if he went out at Survivor Series. And yeah, I agree with you too, Ryan. Like, I think that we're obviously on the tail end, and I think, it's probably only a handful of matches at this point. And if you can get another type of cinematic match out of them, I would like that. I don't need it to be another boneyard match. I don't think we should ever see another boneyard match. I don't think another one's going to live up to it.
Dig yourself.
But I think if we can get something else that is cinematic, I think you can play on and have a lot of fun there. But yeah, I've been looking forward to this documentary, and it comes at a great time because people are already tuned in with the Last Dance thing. So if you can generate a little buzz from it, maybe you can get a couple extra subscribers or something too. You never know. Matt, I think you have to head out, right?
I do. Yep. So I am recording an interview tonight in about 5 minutes with Stella Gray from Women of Honor fame. So stay tuned to the website. On Saturday, I'll drop that shirt this week. Valentina Vasquez from CZW fame. So
I got my Brock party on in celebration for the Money in the Bank.
Check out the Instagram at 3 Count Thursday. Adriana Mosley this week. But give us a follow, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right, Matt. Take care, bud. We'll talk to you next week.
Take care, Matt. Thank you.
All right, Ryan. Just a few more things here before we wrap up the show this week. Roman Reigns. There was a lot of buzz around Roman Reigns this week because in the Money in the Bank, they counted down like the top 10 moments in the Money in the Bank, and people noticed that he was purposely edited out of the highlight from Seth Rollins winning.
Hold on. Here we go. Breaking news here. 3 Count Thursday. Roman Reigns to AEW. Right now, it's happening. Roman Reigns to AEW. The fuck out of here. Shut up. Unreal. It's not you, it's the fucking pandemic, people. Now I'm pissed.
People were so wound up about about Reigns being cut out, and it's like, guys, they've tweeted something with at WWE Roman Reigns like every day this week. Roman's been tweeting about it every week. The WWE on Fox programming promo picture had a picture of Roman Reigns because it was like the best of Roman Reigns was on right before WWE backstage. Our old pal Nick said they're giving him the Benoit treatment. Come on, the Benoit treatment. Come on,
Get out of here, Jim. With your left hand, give me a high five.
Oh, this way.
Yeah, we're sideways. Boop. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Get the hell out of here, Nick.
Yeah,
I love you, but you ain't right.
Benoit treatment. Give me a break. Yeah, just absolute craziness. That like they're not purposely editing him out. They're not trying to hide Roman Reigns from people. Yeah, they're not talking about him on TV because he's not part of storylines. Show me anybody that is not part of storylines that they regularly talk about on programming. Think about it. Like, I know we're all crazy. I know we're getting a little stir crazy. Like, I know things are like all messed up. We got to come up with things, but can we just stop? Just let's not overthink everything here, people. Roman Reigns is fine when things are safe enough for him to return. He will be back. He'll probably have a title match, his first match back, and then everybody will be complaining that he's
everyone's gonna bitch anyway.
So either way, it's a bitch fest.
You guys bitch when he's there. You get shoved down your throat. He's not there. The WWE doesn't talk about him, and you bitch about it. Y'all just like to bitch.
All right, a couple of news items here, Ryan, and then we're going to close up the show. WWE is participating in the Real Heroes project with 13 other pro sports leagues. The new project was launched to recognize and celebrate healthcare workers on the front lines of the coronavirus pandemic. The campaign will see pro athletes dedicate their ring gear and uniforms to a special healthcare hero who is helping their community fight COVID-19. Leagues participating are the WWE, ATP, which is tennis, Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer, NASCAR, NBA, NFL, NHL, NWSL, which I believe is the women's soccer, USGA, WNBA, WTA, plus Activision Blizzard and EA for their esports. John Cena placed a photo of Dr. Evan Shannon on his shirt to honor him, while WWE NXT Women's Champion Charlotte Flair put the name of registered nurse Jill Cardone on her ring gear. WWE Hall of Famer Triple H also participated, placing the name of nurse Lizeth DeGracia on his jacket. Fans are encouraged to create similar tributes on social media with the hashtag #TheRealHeroes. Yeah, this is something that's super cool. For nurses, doctors, people working in food service, people working in custodial
like we
services.
Did with Nurse Vanessa Feelgood tonight, right?
Yes, yeah, 100%. We've tried to not talk about too much of the current situation, but this is something that obviously the people who are on the front lines and obviously nurses, doctors, everything like that, those are the easy ones to remember, but people who are work on custodial staffs, cleaning up doctors' offices and medical facilities, and people who work in cafeterias, both in office buildings and in hospitals, and doctors, doctors' offices, things like that. Essential businesses that have to stay open to be able to get us food and medicine and things like that. To everybody that is out there and has to be out there, we continue to hope and pray that you stay safe. So to see these sports leagues and WWE and esports leagues that are showing recognition, and obviously we've seen athletes and celebrities and businesses and things like that who have contributed to try and give back to these people to thank them for what they're doing. It's anything that can be done to recognize the sacrifice and the what these people are doing is spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to give a shout out to the teachers who had to absolutely pivot and put everything online. To all of a sudden stay at home teachers, your grannies and your Grammies and your grandmas and your nans and your paps and your pawpaws and your grandpas and your granddads and your moms and your dads who are all of a sudden teachers who who grew up learning arithmetic and now has to teach Common Core for the first time in their life, who are learning about isosceles and equilateral triangles and right angles and all this crazy bullshit. So to those people who have quickly had to learn the ropes of being a teacher during a stay-at-home pandemic, or pandemic, whatever you want to say.
I just finished my beer.
That's all right. It's going to happen, Jim. My tin hat's off to you for for doing what you guys are doing, and I think a lot of those people are oftentimes forgotten about because their lives change drastically if mom and dad maybe still have to go to work.
Sure.
And Grammy and Grandpa or whatever is teaching school all of a sudden, and aunts and uncles, things like that. So really just a shout out to all those people too. And if anybody has anybody in their family that would want a shout out on 3 Count Thursday, if that means anything, for Christ's sakes, that's the least we could do.
Right.
And then just say a thank you to those people on the front line, maybe a nurse or something in the family. Just let us know. We'll gladly give them a nod next show, the next time we're live, if it's a watch along or anything like that. But we'd love to be able to recognize those people for you as well on the small platform that we ourselves find ourselves having.
Yeah, 100%. And it's funny. I'm a huge sports fan, and I do the Huddle Up podcast, and I'm working on doing one talking about like how much do we miss sports. And like the surprising thing is, I mean, I do miss sports, don't get me wrong, but like I don't know that I've missed it as much as I thought I would.
Okay.
And it's really kind of a weird thing, but the thing I think that we're all learning and all figuring out is the people who whether people had that thought or not, seemed disposable, so to speak.
Right.
The people that we kind of took for granted, teachers, healthcare workers, nurses, things like that. And we looked at athletes as heroes. Now we're realizing that the athletes are non-essential, but these other people in our lives are absolutely essential, and they are heroes. And I'm curious how our society will change coming. I'm curious to see how everything is going to change coming out of this, and hopefully we can have a better appreciation of the people that are actually heroes. I got to cut that off before we end up getting muted.
We're gonna get for sure. While we're at it, I think our stay-at-home order has just been extended. Looks like through June the 4th.
For reals?
Yeah. We're still in a red lockdown state. Damn. So June the 4th just announced, especially the Philadelphia region, which unfortunately we get lumped in with that larger metropolitan area. We're going to be one of the last few locked down in the state.
I mean, I figured that Lancaster was going to be on that end.
It is.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's a little jarring, but I think
it sucks, but it's. I mean, here's the deal: we're already into May. We're talking. It's less than a month.
Right.
Again, it could also be extended again, but let's do this together. It's gonna suck, but let's all suck together.
Sure. Yes. All right.
This is one of those really thick milkshakes where it hurts to suck, but if we all suck together, we'll be able to get a little bit of milkshake in everybody's mouth.
I agree. I think we'll be able to do that. All right. Just a couple more things here. The Revolt, formerly The Revival, appeared on Chris Jericho's podcast and discussed, among other things, Frank says people are already going ballistic about the June 4th date. Yeah, shocking.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Reasons why among other things, why they were unhappy with the WWE. Cash Wheeler, aka Dash Wilder, said things were going decent for us. They were going well. they're going well, all things considered, but we're not happy. The tag titles don't mean anything. I would rather lose to the tag champs for the rest of my career than hold them because it's just going to be seen as a failed championship run. Dax Harwood, formerly Scott Dawson, said that was one of our biggest factors in leaving was that the tag team wrestling was featured everywhere else except WWE, and we wanted to be part of that. We could sit back and apart from NXT stuff, we could have no legacy in wrestling, or we could go out and make history. Wheeler, aka Wilder, commented on Braun Strowman winning the tag team titles with 10-year-old Nicholas at WrestleMania being a factor. He said, "This is nothing against Braun, but he steamrolled the entire tag team division, and then a 10-year-old won the tag titles at WrestleMania, and then no tag teams were featured at SummerSlam, and at the last minute they added the women's tag titles, which I'm all for, but it was so last minute that people didn't know." So yeah, and I mean, here's the thing: we've heard the rumors about them wanting out for a while, and I am happy that they finally got released. It was evident that they weren't happy. I think they are a talented tag team. Do I think that they're the best tag team in the world? I do not. People can get mad at me all they want for saying that. I do not think that the Revolt, the Revival, or whatever they're called this week, are the greatest tag team in the world. They are very good. But you know, I'm glad they got out. I assume that they are going to land in AEW eventually. Again, they can't sign anywhere until, was it June, mid-June, I think.
After our stay-at-home order now.
But yeah, it's they're very good, but yeah, I'm happy they were able to get out, and we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, I think they might have been one of the better tag teams in the WWE. You can make an argument that they were the best pure tag team in the WWE. Definitely a throwback feel to them. Them going to AEW makes sense. I think we've oftentimes said that the WWE and NXT definitely has a nod over AEW in like their women's division and women's wrestling. I truly do believe that AEW does factions and teams correctly over there in AEW, and they would fit perfectly fine with that. And I know we talked about this early, but before we get going, if you haven't watched this Wednesday's AEW, Jim, I know you said it was really good. We didn't talk about it much with Matt, but I think top to bottom, that was a fantastic show. Absolutely loved the street fight. It's exactly what I would hope a street fight.
Real good.
And again, like you can get away with that because there's not paying fans sitting in an arena not seeing you do this. So now's the time to like tour every aspect of freaking of Jacksonville. What is it called? Daly's Place or whatever the arena is called down there, or where they were fighting. Being able to use golf carts and stupid shit like that. It absolutely was a really good show. So them going to a show that highlights tag team wrestling the way that AEW does with some of the best tag team wrestlers in the world, like the Lucha Brothers, like your boys, the Young Bucks, Jim. It only makes sense.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is yeah, I did have to, I noticed the Tony Schiavone must not have watched a lot of WrestleManias, around like, between 16 and 20, because when they got on the golf carts last night, Schiavone said, I've never seen a match with a golf cart before, clearly forgetting about Kane and the Falls Count Anywheres back in the day. But no, AEW was good stuff this week.
And what was going on with JR? I mean, broken Matt Hardy, to Damascus. He's just kept calling him every different name under I don't know what the hell they call him, whether it's Damascus or it's oh my God. Jim, I can't believe my eyes. Do my eyes deceive me?
Intern Mark has joined us here for the very end of the show. How are we doing, Mark?
Hey, thanks for having me. I thought you guys said 8 o'clock Mountain Time.
Oh,
I thought that was Tony Schiavone signing on.
Oh, wouldn't have that been great? No, but Mark, we do operate on the Eastern time. We'll have to clear that up for next week.
Well, I'll be darned. I even have my headphones on this week so I can hear you better.
I see that.
Yeah, Mountain Time is definitely an hour and 40 minutes behind us. That definitely checks out.
That's right. It's like Pyongyang time over in Or is that North Korea, Pyongyang, or whatever it's called?
Now,
Pyongyang.
intern Mark, we
Ping
had
pang,
heard that you
ping
had
pong.
to take your magnificent creature of a dog, very fluffy dog, for a walk today. How was your walk around town? Were you safe? Are people wearing masks where you are?
You know what? Most people are wearing masks. Even people outside that were walking were wearing masks. And it's not necessary to wear them while you're outside as long as you're social distancing.
Okay. Now, did your dog, is it Kirby the fluffy dog? Does he wear a mask at any time during his adventures?
Sometimes he needs to wear a muzzle, but he has not worn a mask yet. He's a good dog.
He's a good
And
dog.
fortunately, he's immune to the coronavirus.
Good.
He's got the positive antibodies.
He's got positive antibodies. A beautiful animal, magnificent animal.
He is a magnificent specimen.
A magnificent,
beautiful creature.
Frank did correct me. He said Schiavone has stated he stopped watching wrestling after the final Nitro in 2001. Only started again 2-3 years ago, so that would make sense. He did not see the cane on the golf court. The final
big minor league baseball fan.
That's true. The final news piece I have tonight: Xavier Woods on this week's episode of New Day Feel the Power podcast provided a brief update on his health. Of course, he's been out of action for quite some time now with an Achilles tendon rupture. He said, "I'm good. It's getting better. It's a tough injury, but rehab and all that, it's been working well. He's running now, which is a plus, so he's almost ready," he said. And he said that the first time he ran while rehabbing, he said was pretty scary because he's afraid that it was just going to tear again. I have a buddy who once tore his Achilles, and it is a nasty injury to try to recover from. So we continue to hope that Xavier Woods can continue to get healthy, and we'll be back in the WWE ring before too long.
Yeah,
I'm sure the New Day will have their 14th tag titles by that point, so it'll all work out.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see that. You hate to see any sort of injury, especially to an athlete's leg like that. So to see him up and around and back out on the football field, Alex Smith will be back.
Yes, yeah. God, did you open the link when I sent those pictures? Alex Smith's leg.
No. Who were you talking about?
Alex Smith.
No,
I was talking about Xavier Woods, but
yeah, Xavier Woods too. It's great to see him back up on his legs too.
But when I sent you those pictures of Alex Smith's gruesome leg, did you open those at all?
Absolutely, of course I did, Jim. I absolutely did. I've seen them before you sent them.
How gross was that?
Yeah, it looked like somebody just gnawed on a leg, like a fucking werewolf just gnawed on anybody's leg. It's disgusting.
Ugh. But yeah, I saw today he was like like running and throwing and stuff like that. So that's unbelievable.
Now, intern Mark's a big football fan. What did you think of Alex Smith's leg injury first, and then to Xavier Woods?
Well, first, Alex Smith. Didn't that happen to him back in logistics? I used to work with Alex Smith. Did he step on the pallet?
The wave ran him over.
He got run over by the wave. His leg was looking gruesome that day. I'll tell you what. Thank God Len was working there, and he called the code green right away. But I haven't heard much from him. I guess he's up and around now.
Yeah, Len was able to take the pallets that fell and squirt them up in the steel area.
He squirreled them away at that steel in the middle truck.
Right now, that's inside baseball. Jim's left out.
Here we go. This just from the WWE shop about an hour ago. Limited quantities available. You can still get some of the individual WrestleMania chairs. $119.99. So the price has gone up on the individual chairs. So if you were fortunate enough to get one on the first run, then congratulations. I think Matt had gotten one. Did you grab the one, Ryan?
I did not. No, I've only I kicked it around because my idea was I only wanted to go to like pay-per-views I was at. I don't have a WrestleMania 35 one, so I'd have to find one of them on eBay. They're about 130, 140 bucks. So I'd rather get that one first because I was at that pay-per-view, and then follow after the 36 one. I don't know. I think the resale value isn't going to be super expensive on them. I feel like I could probably get one for $120 on eBay in the future, something like that. But yeah. I know, Jim, you have two of them, right? You have the the Royal Rumble one, and then the one from
last year's Rumble, and then the Unforgiven that was in Hershey.
The Hershey Unforgiven. Matt, Do you own any wrestling chairs?
I have one from SummerSlam. Oh boy, I don't remember. It was the one that was like a thrill ride kind of theme.
Oh yeah, which one was it?
SummerSlam.
I'd
The
have to
chair
look up.
has it looks like a roller coaster car, and it has Kane.
I want to say
and
that was
CM Punk.
like 2016, maybe.
That's what I was kind of thinking. I was thinking 2016. And it's CM Punk and Kane and the Bellas and Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan and on the chair. It's pretty neat.
It's a beautiful chair.
Beautiful
So
chair. I hate to
the
sit in it.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers
That's
over the last
2013.
2013. So the Tampa Bay
Yeah, that's
Buccaneers,
old.
the NFL schedule came out tonight. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the last 15 years were least in the NFL for prime time games. Tom Brady comes to town. They are tied for the most primetime games in the NFL this upcoming season, should there be an NFL season. So there you go, the Tom Brady effect. Devin says he has the WrestleMania 2013 chair. All right, I have nothing else for tonight, and we are.
What else do you have for us?
I got nothing. So.
You guys keep going. What else you got?
Unless you guys have anything, I think we're gonna wrap this thing up about 10 minutes early this week.
Hey, you know what? It's about 40 minutes longer than I thought we were gonna make it. We got to have Matt in here, intern Mark, for the last moment with the surprise drop by.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I was super excited. Man, I don't have anything either. Just make sure you're still like watching wrestling. Like wrestling's still on. Let's enjoy wrestling together. Make sure you go and watch our watch along video. That was a lot of fun. I'd love to do another one. Give us categories that you want to do a watch along for us. Something on the WWE Network. We'll queue it up and we'll watch it all together. I don't know. We haven't decided yet. Is that going to be a YouTube exclusive? Maybe we'll do it on YouTube. Maybe we'll do it on Facebook's.
We could probably throw one up on Facebook just so people have a better idea what exactly we're doing. I know we got a pretty favorable response from the first one. Yeah, guys. Mark, good seeing you.
Thanks for having me.
Ryan, good seeing you as well. Make sure you're following along with the show. All of our social media is 3 Count Thursday, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as 3 Count Thursday on YouTube. Make sure you are subscribed to all of our channels, all of our podcast feeds. And make sure you go to 3countthursday.com. Check out the merchandise, our home network, NGSC Sports, and much, much more. Again, 3countthursday.com. Everybody, please stay safe and wash your hands. Be smart. Stay home. Only a couple more weeks, at least, hopefully for us here in Central PA. But just be smart and take care of yourselves. And we'll talk to you again next week.